Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Intan Deriska and I'm from class 1 PBI A7 and now I'm studying at Unisnu Jepara. Here I make this video to fulfill Mom April's assignment whose course is intensive listening. And in this video, I will explain my summary about the podcast or video which I listened to and BBC, TED, British Council, and Bedtime Stories application. So, here we go! The first summary I take from British Council application. Here I chose Learn English from Home Series 1 Episode 3. The host is Tony Grant and he gives us a few tips on how to study at home during this pandemic especially. As we know that before pandemic we do face-to-face learning and because of pandemic we switch it into online learning. So he gives a few ideas that might help us to switch the face-to-face learning into the online learning. The first, you must know how your classes are going to be delivered. Will it be live webinars that you have to watch in a fixed time or just a video recorded so you can watch whenever you can? You must know it. Second, you must understand what platform your college will use. Is there any discussion forum, preferred chat platform or another? You must understand it. And then if you have known all of the key web pages and platforms, make a folder in your browser bookmark or on your desktop, and then if you want to access, it will be easier for you. The next tips is use a Google Calendar to set alert on your appointments and your deadlines. The next is try not to multitask. Maybe try to sticking on one task or doing monotasking. It will be better. Moreover, if you use Pomodoro method, it means you can reward yourself with 5 minutes on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or social media you have. For every 25 minutes, you spend focused on your studies. Then, if some of your classes are delivered by using Zoom or some other web conference, do your best to attend the live event. Be active to ask questions and take some notes while you are listening to the explanation. The next tips is try and make a schedule and stick to it. For example, you get up early in the morning and do 30 minutes of yoga before breakfast. The last is doing 4 Pomodoros. It means each one 25 minutes of studying, then a 5 minutes break. Then take a longer break for an hour where you step away from the computer and refresh with the different activity. Then have a lunch and back to your PC. This way will let you head down to help deal with the stress of trying to carry on with life while practicing social distancing. The second summary is from BBC News application. In this occasion, I chose the title Lockdown Loneliness Advice from 91 years old. The speaker is Marjorie Wells. Marjorie Wells, who is 91 years old and lives alone, says loneliness can be face-stating, but it's no good feeling sorry for yourself. You just got to get on with it. She has only left her house once since lockdown in March. She says the restrictions she experienced when she was young has helped her cope during this pandemic. The advice she gave: first, you've just got to rise to the occasion and do the best you can and get on with it. Second, enjoy your life. And the last is think positively of what you've got. The third summary is from TED application. In this occasion, I chose the title, Why Students Should Have Mental Health Days. The speaker is Haley Hardcastle. Schools can be rife with stress, anxiety, panic attack, and even burnout. But there's no open formal policy for students who need to prioritize their well-being. Haley Hardcastle explains why schools should offer mental health days and allow students time to practice emotional hygiene without stigma. She and her friends struggled to get a law that students should have mental health days, and in June 2019, it was finally signed out into law. The advantages of this law are: the first, the students have a law on their side to talk about mental health to their parents. Second, the school has that absence recorded as a mental health day, so they can keep track of just how many students take how many mental health days. If a student takes too many, they'll be referred to the school counselor for check-in. This is important because we can catch students who are struggling before it's too late. Third, kids young are not only taught about how to take care of themselves, practice self-care and stress management, but it could also literally save lives. And the last, every student deserves a chance to feel better. The last summary is from Bedtime Stories application. In this occasion, I chose the story about Hansel and Gretel. So the title is Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel were siblings. Hansel was a boy and Gretel was a girl. They lived with their father, whose job was a woodcutter. They're poor but they're happy living together. One day, the father remarried and his new wife moved to their house. In the next morning, the father invited Hansel and Gretel to go to the forest, but in the evening he left their children, with reason because he cannot raise two children. Hansel and Gretel was lost. They were exhausted and very hungry, till they found a house which made from breads and cakes. Then they ate it with hunger, and then they fell asleep there. In the middle of the night, the owner of that house opened the door. She was an old strange woman, and she was a wicked witch. She saw Hansel and Gretel in front of her house and then carried them inside. In the next morning, the witch forced Gretel to be her maid, and she locked Hansel in a cage in order that she would eat Hansel as her food. Time by time passed. The witch couldn't wait any longer. She was very hungry and she asked Gretel to open the oven to cook Hansel. At that time, Gretel was very afraid of the witch, but she thought of the way to help Hansel. On the other hand, Gretel knew that the witch's eyes were almost blind. Then she had a plan. She told the witch that the oven wasn't working, and she asked the witch how to use the oven. And then the witch opened the oven. In that moment, Gretel pushed the witch into the oven and shut the oven door. The witch didn't burn easily because she had a magic. But in the end, the witch died because she couldn't escape from the burning hot oven. Gretel helped Hansel get out from the cage, and they found treasure. They took it. After they took the treasure, they came out of the house. They walked into the forest, looking for their way back home. They're happy because they found a pebbles on the ground which they made when they invited their father to the forest. And finally, Hansel and Gretel arrived in their home. At home, their father and their stepmother were very happy to see them again. Their parents promised that they wouldn't do it again to the children, and they will keep their children. Well, everyone, that's all my summary of this assignment. I hope it will be useful for us, and thanks for watching my video. I'm Intan Deriska. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.